10 best places to visit in Caribbean. Hello travelers, welcome to another exciting edition on Travel Fantasy and thanks for watching. Today we shall be talking about the top 10 amazing places to visit in the Caribbean. The Caribbean is blessed with warm waters, sunny weather and a tropical climate, and each of the many islands has something to offer visitors. From the ancient fort and city of Santo Domingo to the world-class resort in Aruba to the volcanic craters and hiking trails of the island of Dominica, the Caribbean has something to offer everyone. Here's our list of the 10 best places to visit in the Caribbean. Before we proceed, if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our updates. Number 10. St. Lucia. St. Lucia is an island nation characterized by the dramatic mountains on its west side known as the Pythons. Visitors staying in St. Lucia can settle down in a luxurious resort and spend their days lounging on gorgeous volcanic beaches or go diving to explore coral reefs beneath the blue waves. Inland, a hike along one of the humid green rainforest trails may lead tourists to stunning waterfalls or lush green forest capes. There are plenty of tour companies in St. Lucia which can offer visitors zipline experiences, jeep tours, horseback riding, boat tours, and more. Number 9. St. Martin. Another island horrifically shaken by Hurricane Irma, St. Martin is still in recovery from the event of September 2017. Rebuilding is likely to continue for years, but this tough little island is still beautiful and open for business. Known as the Friendly Island, St. Martin actually comprises two countries, the French St. Martin on the north and the Dutch Saint Martin in the south, but the EU regulations allow for easy passage between the two countries for tourists. Known for the beautiful secluded coves where visitors can relax, sunbathe, swim and snorkel, as well as for the lovely beaches that line its coast, St. Martin is a beautiful little island that also offers delicious fusion cuisine and a vibrant nightlife. Number 8. St. Thomas. St. Thomas is the most cosmopolitan of the three US Virgin Islands, and its capital city, Charlotte Amalie, offers resorts, shopping, fantastic cuisine, and a thriving nightlife. Visitors can climb the 99 steps above Charlotte Amalie for a spectacular view of the island and the Caribbean Sea, or take the Sky Ride 700 for an even higher view. History books can check out Fort Christian, built in the 17th century by Danish and Norwegian settlers of the island. On land, there are zip-line tours, hiking trails, and bicycle tours, and on the water, St. Thomas offers marine animal adventures at Coral World as well as snorkeling, scuba diving, and even submersible scooter tours. Number 7. Barbados. I'm not sure about you, but simply hearing Barbados instantly conjures up images in my head of one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. I've spoken to innumerable people who have visited, and many say that Barbados has to be in the running for prettiest Caribbean island. Barbados is only 34 kilometers wide and 23 kilometers long, but most of that is delightfully picturesque. As with Aruba, Barbados is outside of the principal hurricane strike zone, so it often spared the devastating effects of tropical storms. The island of Barbados can firmly rest its heart on the notion that it's one of the foremost tropical vacation spots, but it's also worth noting that it's host to a variety of nesting turtles and actually has the second largest hawksbill turtle breeding population in the Caribbean. One note on that, make sure you aren't driving on beaches if you do rent a car, as this can negatively affect nesting turtle populations. Number 6. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is undoubtedly one of the Caribbean islands to visit in your lifetime. I was blown away when I went there by how colorful and vibrant the culture was, and the people were as warm as the weather. Sure, it's one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean, but it was the historical side that stole my heart. For starters, it doesn't get a whole lot better than Old San Juan. I've been blessed to do a fair bit of global trotting so far in this life, and I can only distinctly recall a handful of places more picturesque than Old San Juan. If you've got a quality camera and some time, Old San Juan will be a dream come true for you. From a historical perspective, you'd also be remiss not to spend a little time at the famed Castillo San Felipe del Morro, a 16th century coastal citadel. The beaches are lovely, but if you're into rare birds and wildlife, then the El Yunque National Forest is going to be your best bet. As far as I last checked, camping is still something you can do there if you're interested in spending extra time in Puerto Rico's foremost tropical rainforest and nature reserve. Honestly, Puerto Rico offers one of the best Caribbean holidays because it's a rich culture with scenic views. Number 5. Grenada. I like to think I'm someone who follows trends in travel pretty closely, and I'll say that Grenada is being mentioned more and more is one of the top tropical vacation destinations. It isn't a large island, seeing as it's only about 350 square kilometers in size, but that doesn't mean it can't be considered one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. The island itself is located northwest of Trinidad and Tobago, northeast of Venezuela, and southwest of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's one of the top Caribbean islands to visit for a number of reasons, its natural beauty perhaps being foremost, but it's also known as the island of spice. Grenada is a huge player in nutmeg and maize export business, being one of the world's largest exporters of the latter. The history of Grenada is something to behold when we consider how many imperial powers tried to get their hands on this beloved piece of land, a not terribly uncommon narrative for the region, sadly. It has, at different points, been a French colony, a British colony, and even famously invaded by the United States. Now Grenada is looking firmly towards the future and seems to be situated rather nicely. History aside, Grenada is a natural wonder in many respects. Grand Etang Lake offers something unique, as it is a crater lake in an extinct volcano, while places like Pink Jean Beach can surely breed nothing but smiles. Number 4. Curacao. In the southern Caribbean Sea lies a lesser Antilles islands by the name of Curacao, which is quietly gaining a reputation as one of the world's best tropical vacation destinations and nicest Caribbean islands. Of course, Curacao is a former Dutch island territory, exemplified by its very Dutch-sounding capital to this day, Willemstad. As with other popular Caribbean islands, Curacao is noted for its exceptional opportunities for scuba diving and snorkeling, remarkably beaches, and great weather. Of particular note while visiting are places like Kenapa Beach, Klein Kneep, and Cas Abao Beach. However, a friend I have in travel also told me that Chete Boca National Park is not to be missed. My friend also noted that she wouldn't leave the island without spending time in the capital, Willemstad. In particular, she loved spending time on the main street in the harbor, which she said was bright and vibrant. If you're looking for it, it's known as Handelskade. Personally, I'm thinking about tropical places to visit. Curacao is really near the top of my list. Number 3. Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos, shortened to TCI for the Turks and Caicos Islands, offers that classic postcard beauty that so many people are looking for when trying to find the nicest Caribbean islands. Turks and Caicos are a British overseas territory, which, not surprisingly based on the name, consists of the larger Caicos Islands and the smaller Turks Islands. TCI is known primarily for tourism because of the multitude of beaches, resorts, sunshine, and the color of the water. That being said, it is also known as an offshore financial center. If you're in Turks and Caicos and you don't manage to get to Grace Bay, you've been horribly misled. Grace Bay Beach in particular is the most famous beach on the island and is actually public, though very close to many popular resorts in the area. If it's not the prettiest Caribbean island, it sure would be in the running for the prettiest sounding locations. Along with Grace Bay, you've also got Parrot Cay, Pine Cay, Long Bay Beach, Turtle Cove, Turtle Tail Drive, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot going with the Turks and Caicos Islands, but I'd venture to say that the water alone ensures its place in the conversation of the most beautiful place in the Caribbean. Number 2. Anguilla. Anguilla, like Turks and Caicos, is a British overseas territory, and it lies east of Puerto Rico and north of Saint Martin. The total land area of Anguilla is less than 100 kilometers squared and a permanent population of around 15,000. I'm personally a big fan of the name of their capital city, which is known only as The Valley, and has a bustling population of about 1,000 people. Anguilla is actually known as a popular tax haven for those trying to save a little extra change. If you're in Anguilla, you need to promise me that you'll arrange a meeting with someone at Rendezvous Bay, which, joking aside, is probably Anguilla's most popular bay, though some say that Shore Bay is in fact prettier. One thing I've heard over and over again is that it's worth taking the time to explore the cays, which have no permanent population but have undeniable perfect beauty. Number 1. Stingray City at Grand Cayman. Stingray City is our favorite Caribbean attraction and a great family shore excursion. We took a boat ride out to a sandbar where a school of stingray lives. The stingray has become used to human touch because fishermen used to dump the entrails of their catch at that sandbar. Eventually, the fishermen started getting into the 3-footed water and feeding them by hand. When we arrived, we got into the water with snorkels and fins, watched them glide past us, and got the courage to touch their wings. Often they would rub their wings over our legs as they passed. That explains some of the screams we heard from other passengers. Stingray City is a paid excursion that cruise visitors can arrange on their own or via the ship staff. Arranging it on your own is an extra hassle, but it often saves money. Expect to pay a tour operator over $50 for adults and about $40 for children under 12. For all excursions, the final cost depends in part on what kind of food, beverages, or alcoholic drinks are included in the price, as well as what kind of transportation tour operators provide. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notification.